John, Spartan 117, despite being encased in a half-ton of angular Mjolnir armor, moved like a shadow through the twilight forest underbrush. The guard on the perimeter of Base New Hope drew on a cigarette, took a final puff, and tossed the butt. John lunged, a whisper rustle, and he wrapped his arm around the man's neck, wrenching it up with a pop. The guard's cigarette hit the ground. Nearby crickets resumed their night song. Considering the elite training and physical, mental, and tactical prowess leveraged by Spartan 2s, and their record of successfully completing extremely high-risk assignments, it's difficult to think of any of them, much less the Master Chief and Blue Team, being captured. Well, aside from the Chief's chat with the Gravemind, and that time Cortana imprisoned Blue Team. But those were super powerful entities, after all. Regardless, captured they were during the first chapter of Eric Nylund's Ghosts of Onyx. It's a short chapter. On May 1st, 2531, Blue Team was dispatched to Camp New Hope on planet Victoria in the 111 Tauri system. Their objective was to secure 3 Fenris-class nuclear warheads possessed by a group of insurrectionists. The warheads were needed to help replenish UNSC nuclear supplies in that particular sector of space. The Covenant were relentless. The United Rebel Front had asked for assistance from UNSC doctors in treating some of their personnel, who had allegedly contracted Boren syndrome, and apparently wanted to trade the Fenris warheads for the help of said doctors. UNSC Central Command for the 111 Tauri system managed to get their hands on Blue Team to simply extract the nukes instead. The initial stealth raid conducted by Blue Team went swiftly, even flawlessly in the eyes of the Master Chief. Quick note, Kurt 051 had recently been attached to serve as the 5th member of Blue Team during this time. Kurt was perhaps the most sociable of the Spartan 2s, in a way similar to George 052. Kurt was even regarded by John 117 as spending too much time making friends. But Kurt was also blessed with a unique sense of intuition, and this intuition proved to be very useful for Blue Team, as we shall see. The Spartans disabled a security bunker before moving deeper into the camp, and it was at this first stop that Kurt, looking through the enemy surveillance systems, noticed a group of innies unloading multiple containers of armor-piercing rounds from a Warthog. He felt that something was up, but wasn't sure exactly what. He advised Blue Leader that the rebels may be preparing for something. The Master Chief replied that Blue Team would remain vigilant, but he was nonetheless set on staying within mission parameters. They reached the center of the camp undetected, and found a warehouse which returned a very high radiation reading from external scans. They found the nukes inside, but the building was otherwise empty. Kurt was outside securing a specialized elongated Warthog for Blue's departure. When they were about to load up the warheads, Spartan 051's order acknowledgement light flashed red in the Master Chief's HUD. John immediately ordered the other Spartans to abort. Too late. They collapsed, unconscious. The Master Chief awoke to find himself paralyzed within his armor, the same as Kelly, Linda, and Fred. A man walked up to the Chief and introduced himself as General Graves. John recognized the surname. Howard Graves was suspected by the UNSC of being one of the most important leaders in the United Rebel Front. The general, in usual villain fashion, explained his motive and method to his captive audience. Blue Team had recently been on a spree of devastating operations against insurrectionist forces, and Graves intended to stop it. He explained how. "You're suffering from rapid decompression, the bends," he told John. "We used an anti-grav plate, old technology that never panned out, but for our purposes it worked just fine. A focused beam fooled your armor sensors into thinking you were in a 10G environment. It increased internal pressure to save your lives, momentarily rendering you unconscious." They had also put neural inhibitor collars on the Spartans to keep them immobilized. This victory for the rebels was, of course, short-lived. Kurt 051 was not among the incapacitated, and the insurrectionists did not know that. They discovered their mistake, however, when an anti-personnel mine came flying through the warehouse entrance. It was promptly followed by the specialized Warthog ramming into the doorway. Twice. Several more mines were tossed out of the hog, and the resulting explosions cleaned up most of the insurrectionist commandos who had accompanied General Graves, who was also dead by this time. Kurt himself finally exited the Warthog and killed the remaining rebels. He proceeded to pull the inhibitors off each of the other Spartans. There was little time for discussion as Blue Team scrambled to get the warheads loaded onto the elongated hog and make their getaway. They came under heavy fire on their way out, with most of it being, not surprisingly, armor-piercing rounds, but the passengers were able to take cover behind the warhead's sturdy outer shells. Kurt, who was the driver, just had to make himself as small a target as he was able. It worked. Blue Team, the Fenris nukes, and the Warthog were picked up by a Pelican dropship, which evac'd them directly out of atmosphere to an awaiting UNSC vessel. On the ride to the ship, Kurt mentioned that he thought he had been too slow in realizing what the Insurrectionists were planning, despite the clue he had seen. Excessive amounts of AP rounds would be very useful against Spartans. The other members of Blue, however, were simply grateful for the save. The chapter ends with Kelly's words to Kurt. "Welcome to Blue, Spartan. We're going to make a great team." Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content. Speaking of content, let me know if there's any character, event, or place in the Halo universe that you'd like me to cover next. And, as always, until next time.